Okay, let's go.
All right. Thanks for coming on, guys. This episode, I really want to focus on, I have a cousin sister, and she's been asking me a lot of questions about, how to get into crypto, how to understand C culture. She's very fascinated by like the e-girl meta, and that's something that she wants to get into. Obviously, I have no experience on the matter. Um, I mean, the number one question that she's been asking me, and since Evie's Anon and Selena's docs, I think this sort of starts us off on the right foot. Like Selena, if you could go back and sort of undox yourself, would you do that? Like just start up Anon if you were to do it all over again?
Yeah, I definitely would. I think for a few different reasons. First and foremost, I really had no understanding of this space or the culture or anything that comes along with it. So I started messing around with crypto and I just took my personal Twitter that I've had since 2013 and I kind of just rebranded it to be this butterfly person. And a lot of people from my hometown were super confused as to what the fuck I was talking about all the time. And I think that, obviously having a social media since essentially very, very young, you change a lot. So I've been a lot of different people on my Twitter. If I can go back and make a new account from when I first started crypto, I think that it would be better for my branding purposes, obviously safety and OPSEC. And I think just being doxxed in general doesn't really leave a lot of like mystery and like lore for people to try to figure you out. You kind of just put yourself out there. And I think it's great for content creators and people that want to sort of be in your face with their marketing. But I guess for me, I am sort of more of a private person. So I feel like just being undoxed would have aligned with, who I feel I am today more. And yeah, that's my answer. I would definitely tell your cousin sister to be anonymous.
Yeah, Evie, is that the advice that you got when you started off in the space?
Yeah, pretty much. When I joined crypto, I had already met quite a lot of people that were in the space, and basically all of them advised me to stay anonymous. I think it's the best thing for privacy and security reasons, especially like being a girl. There's a lot of weird people on the internet, so yeah, I think that's always best.
I think
Yeah.
one thing, as we are on the subject of being Anon, recently Chris Birdsec just put out this tweet about a large number of cartoon characters merely carry the illusion of influence with no downside for hateful or predatory takes, given the veil of reputation they hide behind. What are your thoughts on this? That hiding behind a cartoon character doesn't really affect your reputation, or it doesn't tie to that. Like, what are your general thoughts on the reputation aspect of being in on?
I think your reputation can get cooked even if you're not Anon. It doesn't really matter. I guess there's a lot of people that do run scams and then they can just disappear and come back as a different profile. But I feel like most people in the space, especially ones that work in BD, are more like people facing roles. Eventually, like even if they do stay doxed in social media, they will be undoxed to a large amount of people. Um, and also, I feel like the space is like moving a bit towards being more undoxed. I'm not saying that's true for everything and everyone, but I am seeing a little bit of a shift towards that.
Yeah. Hopefully my cousin sister isn't thinking about all of that right now. Um, I think what she is thinking about is how to choose her profile photo. I think that's probably more relevant for her now. So, like, Evie, how did you end up with your PFP? And do you think like is your PFP supposed to represent you or the idea of you? Like, how did you come up with that?
It's definitely my online persona that it's representing. I like my profile picture because it's a custom and it's from an artist called Shiro. and I just think she makes the sickest art. It's obviously a Milady derivative, and I love the Milady community. So I think when your cousin is taking into consideration what she wants her profile picture to be, she should also be thinking about like what community she likes most, which one she has most fun with, like what people can she talk most with, because that's like gonna be your entry to that specific community. And yeah, I just think the Shiro is like the best profile picture ever.
Yeah, shout out KG and Evie for getting me one too as well. Um, and then sort of on the community aspect, like where should she start? Like what would you like if you were helping her out, which communities would you ask her to explore? How would you sort of go about that?
I actually think that's something that people get confused. I don't think the first thing you should do when you're joining crypto is to immediately go find a community. How the fuck are you going to find a community? By the way, I don't know if I can swear. Can I swear?
You can do
Yeah,
whatever
you
you
can do
want.
whatever you want. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
cool beans. I think that anybody that's joining crypto needs to understand crypto. Call me a boomer. That's cool. The first thing I would do to this person is give them CoinGecko, DeFi Llama, Deck Screener, Dune Analytics, just to look at the different categories of crypto in the first place. Explore what an NFT is. Explore what DeFi is. Etc. Figure out which one resonates with you more, and then dive into the communities and see who's building what and what the vibes are. But I just think it's hella confusing to tell somebody, oh, just join a community. Like, here's this thing called Milady or whatever. It's like so many people get confused, you know. I'd start with the basics of just giving
No, that's true. That's
reliable
true. I think
information
yeah.
personally.
So Butterfly, she's at that stage where she understands what an NFT is. She's obviously seen mine. We spend a lot of time on chain. You know, she understands the meme coin aspect, and now she's like, I want to find a job in crypto, and I want to make that jump from hey, I'm just a random college kid to I want to work full time in crypto. So if you're at that place, like, what communities would you ask her to explore? Like, how would she go about that?
Well, Well, what I typically tell candidates, since I'm a recruiter and I get this question literally all the time from people that want to be onboarded into the space, I tell them to first and foremost, obviously, make your Twitter, make your Telegram, make your profiles, figure out who you want to be in this super fun and free space. And then from there, I would suggest following a couple accounts so she could follow you. She could see the people that you follow, start doing your own research, see, oh, this person has a cool profile picture. It could be very basic research, very surface level. What does she kind of vibe with in the first place? And then I honestly tell people to do free work. People hate hearing that. It is what it is. If you want to do community stuff, then come up with some content or come up with ideas, send it to a project that you like for free. If they like you, they usually hire you, they usually bring you on. If you're somebody that wants to do BD for a project, make a cool intro, make 2 intros, just do it for the sake of just proving that you can do it. Show that you have value and people will bring you around. And then I think if you're a marketer, like, okay, cool, come up with a little go-to-market strategy. Like, let's say, for example, I want to be a marketer in the space and I see something like, let's just say like Orbiter Bridge. I just use this. So let's say like Orbiter Bridge. I like their product. Cool. What I'm going to do is, oh, I think that on the marketing side, people don't really know who they are. So what can I do? Come up with a little pitch deck, send it to the team. They're going to fuck with it and they're going to bring me on if I have cool ideas. Otherwise, just keep going, keep trying, keep fucking around. I tell people to do stuff for free or part-time or bother your friends like 100 times until somebody believes in you. And then from there, after you have like your first little experience, second little experience, then you'll definitely be able to get a full-time role from me. So yeah.
No, that's pretty cool. And obviously, both of you are part of the Bera Baddies. Is that something that she should consider?
Yeah, honestly, I was wanted to touch upon this, and I think like a community doesn't necessarily need to be just a profile picture or an NFT. It's just like a group of people that come together and like have shared interests. And I think it's very good for girls that are trying to get into the space to join communities like the Berabaddies, because no matter what your crypto knowledge level is, it could be 0, it could be 50, it could be 100, they will always find a way to be adding value to you in the space. There's like over 400 girls in it. There's like Discord chats, Telegram chats. It's just like really helpful. Like you can very easily get connected to many different projects through there because there's girls that literally work everywhere. And they've been doing all of these classes on how to use different protocols and like just even just super basic things and like how to set up your MetaMask and like get started because they're really like doing God's work here and like trying to onboard as many people as possible.
Yeah.
And they're super super useful if you're trying to get into the space.
Yeah, no, for sure.
How did you guys get
I don't know why,
involved?
like,
Yeah, I was just saying, how did you guys get involved?
I met Keisha. Actually, we met the Berabaddies together, Butterfly. We were at Token 2049 last year, and they did, I think, one of their first events, maybe first or second, which was a brunch for girls only. And they were doing a lot of cute things. Like there was a hairdresser and like a makeup artist, and you could go there and like get your hair and your makeup done. And yeah, it was just like really good to like network with people, and that's where I met Keisha. And I mean, they've just like been doing great things. And I think to be involved in the community, all you have to do is just literally like help other girls that are in the community. Like it might be as easy as answering a random question for a girl that's like less experienced than you, like onboarding a new girl, like helping someone out on like how something works, or like giving them advice. Or they recently did like a live stream for Bera mainnet, and like both Selena and I joined. That was like also a way to support them. So there's many different ways.
that live stream was what, 16 hours? 14 hours?
24, bro. 24.
No way.
Yeah,
That's pretty amazing. Like,
yeah.
has your okay, this is going to be a weirder question, but has your conference experience gotten better since you've been part of the Berabaddies? Because that's also a question she has, like, you know, how should I approach conferences? Will my community help me? And all those things.
Yeah, I think conferences are so much better with the Berabaddies, honestly. I just think it's fun that it's just like a whole network of girls that travel the world together, do super cute, like girly things, and also learn really crazy concepts that like we wouldn't learn typically. Like I'm saying, like we're getting better at finance, we're getting better at tech, we're getting better at like personal skills, BD. Like literally, we just all get better together. And I think even like when it comes to going to a conference and feeling afraid for your like safety and all that stuff, like it's just cool that you can message in the chat and any girl that you've never even met before will like link up with you and pull up with you to the event so you don't feel alone. There's just like such a great sense of sisterhood. And I think ever since the Berabaddies, you know, shout out Shifi and a lot of other communities as well that have been around doing this stuff for a minute. But I think that ever since the Baddies, there's just such a sense of like non-judgment. And like as a girl, like I don't know about you, Evie, but definitely in my life there's just times where you feel like some girls may not really have your back, or they're like sneaky or shady or whatever. It's like in this community you can like if you don't get along with someone, it's fine, there's like 10 more people you can get along with. And it's just a whole group of people that have each other's back. So yeah, I think conferences are way better with the Baddies for sure.
That's pretty interesting. Um, And then, you know, in terms of like conferences, what have you guys ever had like any weird experiences at conferences?
Absolutely. Who has not had a weird experience? Evie, do you want to tell a story?
Oh my god. I
No, I mean,
honestly,
and you can share as
there's
much as you want to.
yeah.
You know, like I've even heard. Okay, so let me start off with the weird experiences so that I can set the table. But I've heard that there are people online that pretend to be e-girls, and then you meet them in person, and they're like dudes. Is that true?
Oh my
Like,
god, it is.
I'm hoping that's like the weirdest thing that could happen.
Yeah, honestly, I've had this happen to me last year, and I was like talking to this quote unquote girl who reached out to me, and we were having very like girly conversations. Like we both used to live in London at the time, and I was just like going on about, oh, it's so annoying how like in these like in the Mayfair clubs you need to wear heels and like bodycon dresses. Like I hate that, it's so uncomfortable. And like this person would be like, yeah, girl, I totally get you, like blah blah blah. So I was like fully sure this person was a girl. And then I was at a conference in Hong Kong last year, and this guy just pulls up and we're like talking, and I'm like, I'm Evie, and then he says his name, and it's actually this girl, quote unquote girl I had been speaking to, and I was so shook. I was like, what the fuck? It's honestly like shocking. Also, I was pretty new to the space, so I didn't know this was a thing, but apparently it is. Like a lot of guys live with girls.
I would rather hang
Butterfly,
out
have you had
with.
the same experience? I hope not.
Yeah, of course. I think it's quite funny. Like I think it's actually quite funny. I don't think like I would rather hang out with a guy that's LARPing to be a girl online in a very harmless way. Don't get me wrong, that situation with Evie DMing and being hella weird, like no, not like that. But just like in a harmless way, I don't really care. But like there's a lot of guys that are guys online, and I don't want to be anywhere like near them. Like I think like as a person, as long as you're like a harmless person, I think it's cool. But if you're misleading and being fucking weird, like I've had the same thing. I thought that someone was a girl and we were DMing about like going to the gym and like hitting legs and like what we like to wear, like sending outfits and stuff, like not even pictures of me, but just pictures of like the outfits themselves. And yeah, this person was a grown-ass man. So stuff like that is just really weird. But I think it's quite funny though sometimes.
Yeah. Evie, what was the listing that you posted last week that went crazy viral? And was there any backlash to that
Yeah,
that
I
you'd like
mean,
to speak about?
yeah. I mean, I can talk about it, not too much because I'm not gonna out the Ikaro Cabal. But this is, by the way, I need to make this disclaimer. This is like not affiliated with the baddies whatsoever. It's a different like group of girls. They just like made this Telegram chat. There's about like 40 girls in there, and like just talking in the chat, some girls realized that they were like DMing with the same guy, and they were like, oh, no way. But let's find out if more of this is happening. So the list was made, and it's basically just a Google form where you can input the name of the guy that like you're seeing or speaking to, and then you can check if his name repeats multiple times. I think people like really thought there was way more to this list. There really isn't. Like, guys, the list is really not that long. It was just like 40 girls filling it out, and like not everyone is talking to someone, so it's like pretty niche. Yeah, I think it definitely got blown out of proportion. I had like
You
swarms
know
of
what
men
I heard?
coming out in my
Yeah,
DMs. Am I on the list? Am
yeah.
I on the list? Yeah.
You know what I heard? I heard that Orangey was the #1 name on the list. Is that true?
Yeah, he's on there like 40 times. Actually, he's talking to all
Oh
of the
yeah.
girls. Honestly, I think his girlfriend would not be happy to hear. Yeah. But yeah, no, honestly, like so many men were tweaking, being like, am I on the list? Please, can I see? Please, what are the criteria? Oh my God. Like, guys, it's really not that serious. Like, I'm like, it's underwhelming, I swear. But like, some things were discussed, and some things were found out because of the list. So it did serve its purpose.
Wait, so is dating culture and sort of, like gossip culture pretty big in crypto? Because okay, so for me and KG, pretty transparently in the Indian ecosystem, none of that exists. Like, what's the craziest story that you guys have heard, or what you've sort of seen in this space?
I don't know if I can say the craziest thing I've heard. Butterfly.
I think
What's
what
the
we need to
craziest
make
thing in the
really
space?
clear I think what we need to make really clear is the fact that gossip culture, yeah, girls gossip, but the guys gossip harder. I don't really care if they want to say, oh, the girls are starting drama, all this stuff. Like, guys talk more than bitches these days. Who can get the pussy quicker these days?
No, honestly, it's so real. Like after the girls list, the guys were like, now we're making a list that we can put our names in, and like theirs was way more convoluted. It was like super gate kept. Like you couldn't see other people's replies. Like there was like 10 questions that went like really in depth. Like I feel like guys definitely like love the drama just as much, if not more.
Yeah. What do you think about Charco's initiative? Have you guys
I
seen
think
that?
it's a marketing strategy. I guess it does work for
Yeah.
engagement. So I don't know. Is he still holding up the act? I don't think he is. I think it was a funny
I
bit
think he posted one.
recently.
Yeah, I think he posted one. Yeah.
But
I don't know. He told me the other day that a lot of guys were messaging him to pair them up, with particular people. Yeah.
I think everybody in this space
So,
just
and then,
wants
okay, wait.
love. Rishi, I'm dropping a little egg here for anybody that
Oh,
is
yeah.
really listening to all this. This may be some alpha in the future. Not
Yeah.
going to give too much sauce, but just know that everyone in this world is worthy of real love.
Wow. KG, you hear that, bro?
that got so deep.
You know, KG went for the list too. Like KG, you signed up for
What?
Charco's list, right?
Nah, bro.
You told me
They
that
were
you signed
just
up for Charco's
questions,
list,
I
right?
guess. Yeah, whatever.
You did?
No.
He's like
Bro,
like
KG, this is
literally
a safe space, bro. Like only.
like honestly, I like know like a lot of people signed up for the list. We were like just hanging out with Charco this weekend, and he he gave us a little sneak peek. Like there's a good chance. Also, there's like way more girls than guys signed up to it, so I think it's like a
Oh
good.
yeah,
Yeah. And he's doing
that's
like
pretty
very
cool.
expert scientific matchmaking behind the scenes. So don't you worry, you will get like your perfect match.
Wow. Well, let me DM Charco and see if we can make this. But okay, Evie, another question that I had was, does being Anon affect your chances to get a job in this space? Like, is that something that, you know, protocols that you talk to are like, no, we want a docs person. That's our preference. Does that limit you?
Honestly, I feel like it's super, super normal to be not undoxed. So most projects won't require you to be doxed, at least the ones that I've been with. I know, like when I started working at Scribe last year, it was totally fine if I was Anon. But then obviously, like things can always change, and like the company pivoted more to preferring their team members to be undoxed or sorry, docs on calls with clients, just for like I don't know, like being more trustworthy since we're doing agency work. But yeah, I don't think it's like that big of a deal. I think it doesn't really affect your employment chances if you're doxed. But I think Butterfly would be
Yeah.
better to answer this since this is her bread and butter.
Yeah. Would love to speak on this. I think obviously if you're getting an opportunity through your personal network, through a friend, through somebody that knows you, has met you, there's already some sort of trust there. So I can completely understand why it wouldn't be necessary to dox in that way. As a recruiter, when I'm coming to my clients with a candidate, every single time, whether you're doxed or undoxed on the internet, the employers are going to see your full name from us on your resume. You need to present yourself in a professional way, and that's because of security. So I don't know if you guys have heard of, you know, the situation that happened with Pump Fun earlier last year. We went through an experience where like a dev was hired and he ended up exploiting and everything. So in a case of exploitation or anything like that, of course the people that are employing you and paying you should know your name and where you're from. I think when you're hired, so through the hiring process you are completely doxed to the people that are gonna hire you. After that point, you can be completely anonymous to the rest of your team and anonymous online. Nobody requires you, to change your online persona or identity. But I think it's important as a recruiter for me to get I mean, I have everybody's doxes in space. So like literally that's my job. Like I have to know who you are, where you're located. We're not, there's only a certain amount of things that you can like finesse. But yeah, like it's not a surprise that people get jobs without doxing in space. But yeah.
Evie, was
And
that
also,
was this? Yeah, go ahead, KJ.
yeah, I was just saying, like when you shifted from your previous company to Vibes now, like being doxed, working at something more degen, does that help to connect with the community and just onboard new people? Because I think there's more relatability there.
Yeah, well, I mean, I with Vibes, it's like really chill. Like from the employer point of view, like my boss really doesn't care if I'm doxxed or not on the internet. Like I still do attend all of the conferences, and like I do introduce myself as Evie, and like I do give out my Telegram and my Twitter for like staying in touch for collaboration purposes. But it's like um I don't know. I feel like in the meme coin space, um it doesn't really matter that much. Like a lot of people are doxxed, other are not. It's just like personal preference at the end of the day. I think it's it's not that deep, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, that makes a lot of sense. And then Evie, like, okay, I think both of you are gonna love this question, but if you have to flip the conversation, and Butterfly, I know you do a lot of recruiting, but there are probably teams out there that don't want to hire an Anon, or what would you? Is there like a pitch that you guys have in your mind, like this is why you should hire an e-girl over anyone else? And that question probably could have been framed better, but um, did that make sense?
Is this for Butterfly?
Anyone? KG could answer it if he could, but I'm guessing both of you could.
Well, yeah, I honestly I don't know from like a recruiter point of view, but like being a girl in crypto, I can say like related to what we were talking about before with the Bera Baddies and all of the like very big like and very supportive communities that there are for girls in the space. I think hiring a new girl is definitely a plus EV just because of how easy it is to be well connected within the space because there's so much girl on girl support. So I think definitely plus EV.
And I think from my side, if you're straight, of course you want to make a hot hire to your team, and if you're gay, of course you want a girl bestie that you can chat with every day. So I think regardless, you should be always hiring girls, girls that are smart, girls that are that have credentials, that have knowledge. That I don't think that people should get a job just because they're a girl, but absolutely, clients come to us all the time and they essentially want the hot hire. Like it is what it is. I think it's a good look. We should definitely hire girls.
Wow, I didn't know that. Like in terms of clients actually coming to you and asking for that. Do you think there's like a KOL aspect to it as well? Like every Bera Baddie that I see on my timeline is like a KOL with substantial following, and all Berabaddies and like e-girls in general are really tightly knit. Like, does the network effects there have, like possibilities beyond like any regular hire? Do people talk about that as well?
Yeah, of course. Like if you have followers, of course, like, of course people will be excited about you, especially if you're going for like a BD or marketing or community position. For sure. But I think another part of it is just because you don't have thousands of followers doesn't mean that your Twitter is not relevant. I think that as long as you're posting frequently and posting relevant information to show that you are, in fact, in the space here every day, seeing what's going on, like you are in the culture, I think that's also like a vibe check that people do. So maybe somebody has 300 followers or 400 followers, but they're talking about like relevant things. They're saying funny things, or just showing their personality, whatever. That's a form of doing your research that all of us do. How many mutuals do we have, who follows them, all these things matter. Over, like, let's look at Evie, for example, right? Like Evie has basically every KOL under the sun following her. Her Twitter looks amazing. Like she has great interaction. She's really funny. Like there's a lot of pros there. So although her follower count is not 10K plus yet, you can look at it and sort of like know that she will be main character at some point. And definitely like her Twitter would be a good look. So shout out 0x Eevie.
Damn, you're really glazing me over here. Thank you.
And look, even if someone has like, so what I've noticed is whenever someone has like Berabaddies in their bio or they have Shifai in their bio, their network is already immense, and that's something that recruiters have started to look at. Um, is that also a reason why like someone like my cousin should join a community because it'll help them get a job? Like, do you think that that form of validation matters to recruiters?
Yeah, of course. I think, I mean, again, it's another form of showing that you're valid, like you even know what's going on. We get, first of all, there's so many grifters of people that pretend. I speak to a lot of people that pretend like they're in the crypto space, and I ask them for sort of like, oh, like what has happened recently that you can speak on, and they bring up some shit that happened a year ago. Like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people grift about those things. So any possible way, and that's why people ask for your LinkedIn as well. Like maybe they don't anymore, like whatever, some clients do, some clients don't, but they're really just looking for as many ways to verify that you are in fact a real person, and that you are not lying. um, so I think that when you show you're in Berabaddies, like you have to go through a verification call. Like Keisha or Regan, one of the girls on the team, they have to either have met you or get in a call with you to verify that you are not a North Korean scammer. Um, so I think it automatically gives you some merit being in any type of group, to be honest.
Oh, I didn't know. So Keisha, and like you need a referral to get into the Bera Baddies.
You either have to meet them at a conference or you have to go through getting on like a Google Meets, I think, call. Is that right, Evie?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, they run like verification calls like every week. And they just meet the
That's
girls.
crazy.
Yeah, there is a lot of people. Like I was in a Twitter Spaces by Henlo, and like Johnny was running this NFT whitelist giveaway just for the baddies, just for like girls in the space, and he was telling people like request to speak on the spaces, and then you can come up here, we can have a little chat, and then you get whitelist basically. I'm not kidding. 99% of the people going up to speak were scammers, like, or like men, or like people that didn't know anything about crypto even. So I think it is very important to do these verification calls, because people will always try to game the system, especially for like free shit like whitelists or like airdrops.
100%. And I had like a question. Of course, we know that Bera Baddies is closely associated with Berachain and whatnot. But do you think like people see it as two separate things, or so, was there an instance where people didn't know that Bera Baddies was something that tied to the Bera chain, or is just different kind of thing, or is it something that every time they're like closely associated?
Um, I think they are quite associated with Berachain. And that's like the whole point. Obviously, them being a part of the Berachain ecosystem, their main goal is, yes, to help out girls and onboard as many as possible, but also to have them be onboarded in Berachain. And honestly, Berachain is a great like chain to start. There's like a lot of like consumer products that are gonna be coming up
Yeah,
in the so
I
good,
think
good.
I think Bera Baddies sort of became mainstream after Smokey started tweeting about them during what Dubai last year. Evie, when you met them, I think that's
Um,
when like crypto Twitter took notice.
Yeah, I think that's when they did start to exist, and yeah, that's when all of the like talking about them on Twitter was going on. And then they just like grew exponentially from there. It's like honestly crazy how much they've done in a year. Like even just after DEF CON, they did a full 2 weeks Berabaddy villa. I think they had multiple villas too. And like it was genuinely insane to see. I unfortunately couldn't make it, but like I know lots of girls that did, and they said it was like one of their best like conference experience ever. And it wasn't even like main conference.
You know the biggest question
Do you
that I
think
have, and you guys don't have to answer this. KG, just give me one. Who actually funds the Bera Baddies? Like, where does the money come from?
I don't
Um,
think it's something that we should touch on, honestly. I think that it's something that they're still working on. And, obviously the Bera Baddies doesn't have a product in which they're making like any sort of profit right now yet. They're building. So I think whatever, of course, Berachain endorses to some degree. I mean,
Yeah, no,
why
it's
why
okay.
would they not?
And then
Yeah, yeah.
Butterfly. What do you think about um? So you know how when Super Team became a thing for Solana, and then every ecosystem tried to sort of pump money to make their own super team, and they haven't done that so far. Do you think that's going to happen with the Bera Baddies as well, where every ecosystem is going to try to have a similar program but fail?
I think a lot of the new chains are trying to do this. Like Abstract has Abstract Angels, Monad has Monad Mummies. I'm not sure. I haven't actually seen them, but I think it's in the plans that they're gonna do it. I know projects themselves are now also trying to get like groups of girls to just like promote like more for like marketing reasons rather than community building. But I think it is definitely something that it worked so well that now everyone's trying to copy it. But I don't think it's really that hard to recreate. It's I know like Keisha and the baddies put so much work into everything they do, and it's really like insane amount of effort that they have to put into it. So yes, other chains are trying to recreate it because they're amazing, but it's not that easy.
And would you join another ecosystem's Bera Baddie equivalent if they asked?
Um, I've been added to some. I'm not very active in them. I think that just I don't know. I'm loyal. I love the baddies and fully here for them, and yeah, I think they're doing it better than anyone else.
So, you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, again, like it's women support women, and there is other groups. Shout out Harmony Muses and a few others. I think, even Keisha's in Harmony Muses, right? Like we all support each other. Like there, of course, there's other female groups, and I think everybody should always build, and you don't have to be the first to be the best. All those things. I think the Bera Baddies are obviously, the best at this moment. But I think that there's so much room for like growth and innovation, and I think different groups have different value to add, and different directions that they want to go in. So I don't think there's any. I honestly don't think any of these girls feel any sense of like competition. I think it's really just fun. I think it's fun and opportunity.
Yeah, love that. Sort of bringing you back to the main premise, like helping my cousin sister get started. I think we're also at time for this video. Like, if both of you could give her like a couple of sentences of advice to like summarize this whole thing, what would that be?
Okay, I'll go first. I think mine would be like also recapping what we went through are don't dox until you're like very, very comfortable with doing so. Because once you do it, you cannot go back. Number two, join one girl community at least. And I promise they will help you out with literally anything you will ever need of. And yeah, job wise and career opportunity wise, they can also help with those things. And just try to honestly, like the best way to understand the space is to be terminally online. So I would say just yeah, be following people and accounts and projects that you are actually interested in, and just keep up with what they're doing.
I think on my side, I would say there's no other industry alike. And I think that as intimidating as it may be when you first start out, I think you should look at it like, honestly, the most freedom that you can ever achieve, the most opportunity and upside you can ever have. You can make the most friends, etc. I think that
my advice would just be to genuinely learn the information, stick around for the right reasons, and everything will fall in line for you. Reach out, ask questions. Nobody's judging you. And just have fun, honestly.
100%. It's not gonna help. It's not only gonna help Rashid's cousin sister, even my own sister. She's older than me, so she's also into social media and stuff, and looking to get started in crypto. So I think this will definitely help her and many others. Thank you so much, you both. I think there's so many insights here that uh, outsiders, even people who are interested, will pick up. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.